it. Zhilei Zhang defeats Joe Joyce, Dr. Stoppage. Just, was that inside the 6th or just inside the 7th? 6th, I think it was the 6th round. But whatever it was a one-sided beatdown from start to finish. Zhang from that southpaw position, absolutely superb from the moment that the fight started, and Joe Joyce suffers his first professional defeat. We'll hopefully get a word from Joe Joyce, and hopefully with the exclusive Mandarin skills of my main man Gareth A. Davies, we will hopefully speak to Zhilei as well.
I will climb the ladder shortly up into the ring, but I think our colleagues, the TV broadcast team, get them first. But I just want to say that we saw the vast experience there of Zhilei Zhang, because even he got ahead, he created angles for that left hand, he busted Joe's eye up. You could see the whole time, even when Joe made that assault in the 5th round, and he just sat back, kept his gloves up, lost the round, but won the war, because he could see that eye closing, could see what was going to happen. I thought Zhang tonight showed amazing presence of mind, a great chin, and world champion qualities.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. He absolutely took Joe Joyce at certain points of that fight to school. He took it out. His defences were absolutely sensational. I thought he rode quite a lot of the shots that Joe Joyce were throwing his way. The big shot, as you boys were pointing out in commentary, straight left, right down the pipe, every single time, could not miss against the juggernaut.
No, absolutely. He was very, very accurate with it, and as Gareth was saying, he knew from a certain point onwards that he really didn't need to try and reinvent the wheel. What he was doing was working, and Joyce could hustle and work as much as he wanted, but also the chin, as Gareth said, the chin was rock solid there from Zhang, because he got caught with enough clean shots from Joe Joyce, but he never looked in any trouble at all. He's always operating on that borderline of range, close enough to you to catch you, and he was just nice and loose, nice and relaxed. It was just an excellent performance.
And obviously now he steals the position off Joe Joyce, and this is the beautiful thing, right? Because there'll be people listening to us here on talkSPORT, and of course you have an affiliation with Joe Joyce because we know him a lot better than we know Zhilei. But first and foremost, we're here for boxing. We're here for the development of boxing, the growth of boxing. The best fighting the best obviously helps the sport grow. Tonight, Joe Joyce didn't need to take this fight. Let's remind everybody about that. Because of the way that this game works, he didn't need to take this, but his attitude is different. He said, yeah, go on then. I'm not going to get my world title opportunity, so let's jump in there with a real tough contender. This is what happens when you put a 50-50 fight on. I've no problem with this. Listen, there'll be people talking about rematch clauses. No. Zhang's come here into Joe's backyard. He's won convincingly, and he absolutely now deserves to go on to whatever level he goes to next. Well, during that conversation, we were just informed that there is a rematch clause. Now listen, if that rematch takes place in Beijing, I'm up for a trip, boys. You're up for a little bit of a rock and roll out in China?
Me and Clarky are up for a little tour, mate. Don't worry about that.
But, obviously, on personal vacations or work trips aside, listen, everybody knows where I'm at with rematch clauses. I'm against them. At the end of the day, Zhang's been given an opportunity tonight. He's come here. He's systematically brought down Joe Joyce. He's beaten him relatively easily. And he absolutely deserves to take Joe Joyce's place in this heavyweight division and move forward and hopefully aim for the top prizes.
Listen, he is a danger for any of the heavyweights, you know, for his sheer size, being a southpaw, quick hands. We saw that against Hrgovic. We saw the danger signs there. This was a huge risk for Joe Joyce going in here. It was a fight. If I was advising Joe, I'd say, listen, I wouldn't want to go near that.
He owes an apology to absolutely nobody. This is boxing. This is top-class boxing. When you take risks, at the end of the day, sometimes it doesn't go your way, like Joe's just pointed out there. You can't go swimming and not get wet, especially when you're in there against a 19, 20-stone fella who's landing big lefts on your eye. And this is another thing as well. There'll be fans listening to this going, oh, Joe Joyce is done then now. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's just fought one of the top contenders, one of the highly ranked fighters in the world. Came up short this evening. boxing maths points me in the direction of he could absolutely win fights against X, Y and Z. There's plenty more still if Joe Joyce wants it.
Of course there is. You know, Daniel Dubois showed that you can bounce back from defeat. You know, the defeat he had from Joe Joyce. Listen, it's a minor setback. Of course it is. It's his first loss on the record. That doesn't mean anything. Look through the history of heavyweight boxing. The best box the best. They win, they lose. It's about how they come back. Joe Joyce can bounce back from that. No problem at all. He was in with a tough customer there, a southpaw who landed shots really early. His eye closed up. It was a massive disadvantage. He couldn't see the shots coming. Back to the drawing board. Go again. You know, it's a minor setback for him. It's not the end. It's a minor setback.
This is top level sport, and it doesn't always go your way. It's as simple as that. You take on great challenges, and sometimes you will come second. That's just how it is. And I like the reaction from him there, because he's realistic about it. He didn't immediately say, of course I'll take the rematch, I'll fight him next week if I can, and all the other stuff we hear sometimes. Sometimes he's just that guy, and he's not the one for you.
Kryptonite.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. And mate, at the minute, he doesn't sound too keen on that rematch. And it's not because he's scared of Zhilei Zhang, it's just because he's looking at it and thinking, I've been doing this for a really long time. No one has ever even remotely done that to me. Am I going to be able to figure it out in 3 or 4 months? Maybe not. And if I lose a second time, that could be it. Yeah. Because he's not the youngest. So you have to be sensible about these things. But always, 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 it's about props to the winner. Always. And that was a magnificent performance from an away fighter.
Well said, Andy Clark. Absolutely. Listen, fantastic night of boxing here at the Copper Box in East London. We always bring you the very best here on talkSPORT. We had a cracking fight in the lightweight division a little earlier on when Michaela Mayer came through in a very competitive fight against Lucy Wildheart. And there you heard that it didn't go Joe Joyce's way, but Zhilei Zhang absolutely punched his ticket to the top table of the heavyweight division. Where he goes next, he's now creating a brand spanking new dilemma for those promoters that make the biggest fights. Fingers crossed we get to see those biggest fights in a division that really hasn't filled us with an awful amount of confidence over the last 12 months. From everybody here in East London, thank you very much for listening to us here on talkSPORT. We'll catch you next time.